Cast First, sponsored by Matex Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Well, hey there. Good evening to you on this very nice Wednesday. Now, we are watching the radar, though, because after all the sunshine we had today, showers and storms are lifting back to the north and east and spreading in here. Going to be close to Springfield, possibly Effingham before too long as these showers roll into parts of central Illinois. Maybe a thunderstorm possible as we go throughout tonight as well. As we look at temperatures, it was a little bit warmer today. We made it back into the mid-80s, 84 degrees in Champaign right now, 84 in Springfield. So as we go throughout the course of this evening, we'll watch out for a shower or a storm with temperatures remaining quite mild out there. Definitely an increase in the clouds. How long does the rain stick around? We'll answer that for you when we come back. WCIA 3 News starts
now on WCIA 3 News.
He's one of the most beloved figures in Illini history. How Lou Henson is being remembered after his passing.
What are high school sports going to look like this year? We have what decisions the IHSA made today.
Right now, things are not heading in the right direction.
Half a dozen regions in the state now have a positivity rate above 5%. What the governor says could come next.
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA 3 News at 6.
100 years from now, I think he'll be the greatest coach that Illinois ever had.
Illini Nation is mourning the loss of coaching legend Lou Henson, and there are new restrictions on high school sports tonight. Good evening, I'm Paul Cicchini. We've been following several breaking news stories this afternoon and have team coverage tonight to bring you up to speed. WCIA 3 Sports Director Brett Behrens is in the studio with us with details from the IHSA. Andy Olson is live at Tommy Stewart Field in Champaign with reaction, and Marley Weirda is live at the State Farm Center, the home of Lou Henson Court. First to Marley. Marley, Lou Henson was more than just a great basketball coach.
That's right, Paul, and today is certainly not about remembering the wins or the losses. Of course, he was the winningest coach in program history, but today we're celebrating his life, and you can see this beautiful tribute that has been put out in memory of Lou Henson. You can see that orange jacket there that he always used to sport for games, and he wore it into his retirement as well when he would come and watch the Illini, and there's been flowers placed there on the ground just to remember Lou Henson. And from all the stories that we've heard today from people speaking about him and the kind of man that he was, it goes so much more than just the basketball court. He was a husband. He was a father. During his spare time, he loved to play bridge. Things like that that make him the person that he is and a true icon. And several of his former players had plenty of stories to share at their 30-year reunion of the Flying Illini.
Every coach I've played for throughout my career, high school and in college pros, kind of got on your nerves at some point, but Coach Henson, man, you just couldn't. It was just special. It's just special. He's a great guy. His legacy, I remember him just being a special person. He was special to me.
And that was Nick Anderson from the 1989 Final Four team. They're dubbed as the Flying Illini, and that team has plenty of stories to share about Lou Henson and his legacy, and we'll have more from that coming up tonight at 6. But for now, reporting live at the State Farm Center, Marley Weirda, WCIA 3 Sports.
Marley, we'll look forward to hearing more from them in just a little bit. And, of course, we'll have more about how Henson is being remembered and his legacy. That includes more reaction, as Marley mentioned, from more of those players from that Flying Illini team of '89. Now to another big story of the day. What high school sports will look like this school year. And as I mentioned before, Sports Director Brett Behrens is here now. So overall, many people, Brett, are just happy to hear that sports aren't canceled completely this fall.
No doubt about it. I've talked to several coaches and athletic directors who say today's news is a relief and that they're just happy to have a plan in place to play. There are a lot of elements to this, but here are my biggest takeaways. All sports will play shortened seasons. For instance, football expected just a 7-week regular season. No guarantees for state series or tournaments. It will happen on a sport-by-sport basis. And several fall sports are moving. Football, boys soccer, and volleyball will be in the spring. They were originally in the fall. Baseball, softball, track and field, and girls soccer are next summer. Effingham football coach Brett Hefner says he's fine with the changes just as long as they can play.
I'm just happy we're going to have a season. I think that's the big thing. I think after you feel for all those kids and what they went through in the spring, especially the seniors, to lose their season. So I'm happy we're getting to play. And I would imagine probably all the guys in our program are in the same boat. The thing about it, it's if you're going to postpone it or you're going to move it, then we better make sure it happens.
A lot of people echoing that sentiment. Today's decision affects all sports, especially those that are staying in the fall. We'll hear from St. Joseph Ogden cross-country coach Jason Retz later in sports. He's now got just 12 days to prepare for the start of practice. Now, a lot of families have been anxiously awaiting word on the next step. WCIA3's Andy Olson live at Tommy Stewart Field in Champaign. He had the chance to talk with some parents about their thoughts on the guidelines. Andy, what was their general reaction?
Yeah, Brett, parents here in central Illinois have been waiting on pins and needles like so many others around the state. Some of them weren't even sure if there was going to be a high school season this year. And after today's IHSA decision, it came as a huge relief to them.
So I was concerned with having a daughter that's going to be a senior. I wanted her to have a senior season.
That sentiment was shared by parents of students of all ages. The IHSA's new modified schedule shows a plan that will allow all sports to get in their season, but it won't look the same as in years past. A parent of a senior football player in Fisher took it upon herself to write to the IHSA board about doing everything they can to make the season happen.
Find a way, whether, if it can't be in the fall, do it in the spring, or find a way. Other states are making it work, pushing things back, whether it's a shortened season or not. Just make it work.
For football players, their junior year can be an important step in impressing people at the next level. One dad is happy his son will still have a chance to do that this year.
Done the stuff he needs to do in the gym, and now it's time to show everybody what he can do. So a little upset a little bit, but at the end of the day, they're still gonna let us play in the spring, so we got something.
IHSA Director Craig Anderson said in a call with media that chances of a vaccine will be a factor in starting seasons in the winter and beyond. Golf, cross country, tennis, and swimming will be starting on time this fall. For the parent of a senior golfer, the preliminary precautions the IHSA announced don't have her worried.
I thought it was fair. I'm glad they didn't cancel everything and that they postponed things so that everyone hopefully will get their season in.
Now, let's take a look at a little bit more of what Anderson had to say in that call with the media today. He said that their next step in all of this is creating individual guidelines for each sport. And as Brett said, as it stands right now, no big tournaments or championships. And Brett, of course, will find out more about the schedules as time goes on in the future. The IHSA says that beyond fall sports, the announced dates are their first attempt at coming up with that schedule. For now, live in Champaign, Andy Olson, WCIA3, your local news leader.
All right, thanks, Andy. The IHSA COVID-19 timeline goes all the way back to March 12th when they canceled winter sports state tournaments. All sports were shut down until June 5th when the return to play guidelines were introduced. Earlier this month, the IHSA deferred its decision about playing to public health. And last Friday, the IHSA had a meeting with the IDPH and ISBE about what to do for this season. Paul?
That just seems like so long ago, March, but finally some answers to those pressing questions. Brett, thanks. Well, is the state starting to slide when it comes to COVID-19? What the governor is saying is cases increase again. Also tonight.
The success of the guys that came through his program lets you know what kind of individual he is.
He was a man who was more than a basketball coach. Those who knew Lou Henson best are remembering him.